When DJI released the Mavic 4 Pro, not only did they bring us the best prosumer drone of all time, they also introduced the most capable and the coolest drone controller of all time, the RC Pro 2. In this video, I want to tell you why I think this should be the new standard for drone controllers going forward. But then also, there are a few things that I wish were a little bit different on this controller, and I'll talk about those things too. So let's get to it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you happen to be here for the very first time, my name is Russ. Welcome to 51 Drones. So at first glance, the RC Pro 2, when you look at it, it kind of looks like an evolved RC2, but with an extendable screen slapped on the front of it. But after using it for a while, I can tell you it is way more than that. The first thing that you're going to notice when you pick up this controller is the build quality is solid. And although it's quite a bit heavier than the RC2, it's not uncomfortably so. It's amazingly balanced for what it weighs. So it comes in at 743 grams and the RC2 is 424 grams. But that extra weight goes towards a ton of new features that make your flying experience so much better. So the fold-out screen is a major game changer, of course. And that's not only because of the various angles that you can tilt it to, but for the brightness level. With the RC Pro 2, you're getting a 7-inch mini LED touchscreen with up to 2000 nits of peak brightness. That's double the RC Pro and almost triple the RC2. So what does that mean? It means that you can actually see your screen clearly in any conditions, even in direct sunlight. Now, this is especially important for people like myself whose vision has regressed to the point that I have to use my phone's flashlight to be able to read a menu at a restaurant. So no more hopping in your car to fly or going under a tree to be able to see your screen to see what your drone is capturing. You can fly anywhere you want and be able to see this super bright screen. Also, the colors, they're super sharp. The contrast is solid. The visibility is unmatched. This is hands down the best display that DJI, or I would venture to say any other drone company, has ever put on a controller. One really nice feature about this controller is that the screen rotates into vertical mode. And when it does, it automatically tells the compatible drones, the Mavic 4 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro so far, to switch into vertical shooting mode. You don't have to change your camera manually with the controls. It does it for you. This gives you a full vertical preview without any awkward cropping in post-production, and it makes capturing portrait-style content for social media so much easier. Now, I've used it for a few Instagram reels, and I have to say that it is very nice not having to make sure that I have to keep my subject centered in the screen or having to crop my horizontal shots when I'm doing my editing. Another standout feature of this controller is the built-in microphone support. So if you're a creator who loves doing tutorials or commentary, this is great. You can record screen capture videos with your voiceover embedded directly. No more having to try to sync your audio when you're editing. This is a feature that I think a lot of people are really going to appreciate, and particularly creators are going to appreciate it because you can record your audio directly into the RC Pro 2 and it's going to be embedded into your video. So no longer do you have to record separate audio. Now, here's a suggestion though. If you want it to be high quality audio, I would still do that. I would still record a separate recording because although you're able to record directly into the video, the quality is not the best, as you can hear. You can also connect a Bluetooth microphone like the DJI Mic 2 or any other Bluetooth microphone. You just connect it to the controller through the Bluetooth connection, and then you can record audio that way directly into the video. Again, that doesn't sound the greatest, but it is really convenient to be able to embed it directly into the video. So here's what that sounds like. I have the Mic 2 from DJI connected into the RC Pro 2. So yes, it's convenient to not be, tied to the controller, but most of the time you're going to have the controller right next to you anyway because you're going to be flying. But let's say you have somebody that maybe is narrating your flight and they're going to be away from you. You can connect the microphone this way and be able to capture that audio as well. But again, I would still capture a separate audio file if you want to have high quality audio. Controls and customization are where the RC Pro 2 really shines. You've got a dedicated zoom wheel, you've got a gimbal pitch dial, you've got 2 customizable rear buttons, a 5D joystick for navigating your settings, and a scroll wheel right on the front that you can use for exposure adjustment, as well as some other settings. Now, as I mentioned in my full Mavic 4 Pro video, the customizability of this controller is incredible. You can configure the buttons or a combination of buttons together to do so many different things. This provides a level of personalization that has never existed before, and I think people are really going to love it. When it comes to connectivity, the RC Pro 2 is loaded. There's a USB-C port for charging, data transfer, and firmware updates. There's an HDMI output for live streaming or display mirroring. There's a micro SD card slot, and there's 128 gigabytes of internal storage also in this thing. Never again do you have to worry about filling up the internal memory on your controller. You now have plenty of room to store screen recordings, video clips, or even install third-party apps. That's right, you're not locked into just using DJI Fly with this controller. You can access a full Android-style interface complete with a web browser on it, a file manager, gallery, and ability to install apps from an SD card or a browser. You want to edit a video and post it on social media before you even leave the field? You can do that with this controller. It's almost like having a little tablet in addition to being a drone controller. Now, the RC Pro 2 supports OcuSync 4 Plus, which is DJI's latest and greatest video transmission protocol. It gives you longer range, a stronger signal, and ultra-low latency. So whether you're flying a Mini 4 Pro or a Mavic 4 Pro, it delivers a rock-solid feed even in challenging environments. There has not been one single time that I have lost signal with this controller and the Mavic 4 Pro. And I was in downtown Minneapolis flying around all of the skyscrapers. I've been out in rural areas like far away and not losing signal. This thing is awesome. Now, something brand new and I think super fun is the built-in flight simulator. So this is a really cool tool for people just getting into flying DJI drones, and I think it will help kind of relieve some of that anxiety that goes along with flying a drone for the very first time. I don't know about you, but when I got my first drone, the Mavic Pro, I was terrified for like 2 months to fly anywhere. So having that simulator, I think, is going to be really valuable. Whether you're new to flying or you just want to sharpen your flying skills, this feature lets you simulate full drone flights using real-world controls, camera switching, obstacle avoidance, satellite maps, you name it. And also, it even plays back your crashes, so you can review and improve upon your flying. It's a safe and realistic way to learn or practice. Now, when you're filming in D-Log or other flat profiles, the screen has color display assist to show a preview that looks color graded. That means that you don't have to imagine what your footage is going to look like when you're done editing it. You get a more accurate live view when you're flying. We've had that before on other drones, but for some reason, I feel like it's so much more vibrant on this controller. Another helpful upgrade, of course, is dynamic home point. If you don't know what that is, let's say you're moving around when you're flying. Let's say you're sitting in a vehicle and the drone is tracking you. It's tracking your subject or whatever you're tracking, and you're far away from where you launched the drone. It has dynamic home point, so that controller is going to update the home point in real time. It's a small but super valuable safety upgrade, and it's going to keep your drone from flying so far away from you if it happens to lose connection. The battery life on the RC Pro 2 comes in at around 4 hours, which is really solid for most people in most situations. But if that's not enough for you, you can also charge it with the USB-C port, and you can keep flying if you attach a power bank to it. So those are the best things about this controller. Let's talk about a few downsides of it. First of all, the extended screen is very, very nice, but it also makes it kind of vulnerable. I do recommend being very careful when you have the screen extended. I would not hold it by the neck, and I certainly would not hold it by the screen. Like, I don't know how durable this thing is, but I fear for it because it just seems like that could snap off really, really easily. Also, don't set the controller down on an uneven surface when you have it opened because of the risk of it falling, and I just feel like it could break off. I don't know, maybe I'm being very overly cautious, but this thing's expensive and I would not want this to break. Secondly, this controller, of course, has an internal fan. It's a great feature. It keeps the controller cool, but it's a little bit loud, especially if you're flying in direct sunlight for a long time or really hot conditions. And if you're recording something near your controller, like right now, I got my microphone here, and if this fan was blowing, it would pick that up and you'd have to kind of get rid of that background noise when you're editing. So just make sure that if you're flying in hot conditions and you're recording, keep the controller away from your microphone. The flight sticks are pretty sensitive out of the box. It flies more like an FPV controller than the RC2, and that's great for quick maneuvers, but for smooth orbits or cinematic moves, which most people are trying to achieve with a drone like this, it takes some time to adjust. I would definitely go into your gain and your expo settings and dial those speeds down a little bit. Now, if you're interested in knowing what my settings are, at least for the Mavic 4 Pro, to get the smoothest footage, here they are. I'll put them up on the screen. I would use them as a starting point. You can copy them exactly, but just know that everyone flies differently and everyone has different preferences. But if you want to start with them, there they are. The antenna are very simplified, unlike the RC2, which you can rotate and angle. The RC Pro 2's antennas just fold forwards and backwards. It's quick and it's easy, but the disadvantage is when you want to set the controller down for some reason, you're setting it right on those antenna. I don't know how durable these things are, but it just seems like it's not a great idea to always be leaning on them. So other than those minor things, this controller is amazing. If you're serious about drone flying, whether it be for filmmaking or real estate or content creation or whatever, the RC Pro 2 is an investment that makes every flight easier, clearer, and more immersive. Yes, it's more expensive than the RC2, but the screen alone justifies that jump, especially if you fly in sunny conditions all the time or you need that pro level control. I cannot say enough about how valuable this super bright screen is. It's game changing. So whether you fly the Mini 4 Pro, the Air 3, the Air 3S, or the Mavic 4 Pro, this controller pairs beautifully with all of them, and I don't think you would ever regret getting it. Now, for those of you watching in the United States, as of the making of this video, no, it is not available yet. I would anticipate it being available before the end of this summer, but that's not a promise, so please don't hold me to that. If you live anywhere else in the world and are interested in learning more about the RC Pro 2 or purchasing it, I do have a link in the video description that will take you to it. Again, that link will not work in the US until it's available. Let me know what questions you have about this controller or anything else at all. Just comment what your questions are and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Become a channel member to learn first about any giveaways that I do. I have a lot of extra stuff I need to get rid of, so I'm going to be giving it away, and my members are going to be the first ones to find out about those. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe before you leave the video today. I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day, and as always, fly safe and fly smart.